over 20 years, there's been an event not unlike this, a pizza type event. We started the open source pizzas last year. Why open source? Well, my day-to-day passion is running a nonprofit called the Hawaii Open Source Education Foundation. We recycle computers that we put into schools and nonprofits. We advocate for free and open source software. Hence, open source pizza and our nonprofit foundation called the Hawaii Open Source Education Foundation, located at HOSEF, HOSEF.org. Why would I, as a volunteer, and a whole bunch of other Yahoo volunteers, spend our time on Saturdays and weekdays collecting computers people don't want anymore in the name of education? Well, because some people, myself included, believe that this is the economic engine of any state, and the degree to which we offer hope and some sense of potential prosperity to our students. To the extent that we do that successfully, we don't have to depend on the next plane of tourists to have a self-sustaining economy. So the way we try to go about it is we try to show you that you can use free and open source software, and that if you're a school or nonprofit or even a small business, that Linux, open source, and even older computers can be a real savior for you. The way open source pizza works is that I'm going to pass this microphone through the audience. You're going to let us know who you are. Just a little background. That way, as we begin our discussion tonight, our panelists know who you are, and those in the audience know who each other is. I'll then introduce the panel. We'll begin. And as we talk and chit-chat, I'll go through the audience, and if you'd like pizza, it's $7. Get your pizza, drink of your choice, and it'll be here in a little bit. We use the Hawaii literacy rate, so your dollars go pretty darn far. So, tonight, we're going to learn who each other is, we're going to learn a little bit about this panel, and we're going to learn about what we may or may not want to be doing to further improve our schools. So let me pass the mic first so we know who's who here.
My name's Ron Fox. I'm a software engineer for a local clinical laboratory, and we've been using Linux and other open source software since 1994, and more in that business. And I'm very interested in seeing open source become a model for software development in Hawaii, and in order for that to really prosper, we need people who understand open source, know how to fix it, know how to run it, and that's where education comes in. So I'm very interested in how that's taking place in the schools. I'd like to also mention that right after the pizza part of this meeting, we're going to have a board meeting of HOSEF, which everyone is invited to attend if you want to see how the organization functions in that sense.
Good evening. My name is Brad Freeman. I'm a technology coordinator for Hawala School in Waialua, and I've been the technology coordinator for about 10 years there. We have for a long time been a Macintosh environment here, but for the last couple of years, we've introduced Linux machines, and we have a growing Linux infrastructure there. And I'm here to learn more about Linux and the power of Linux and what I can do in my school to make it more useful for everyone there. I've had good experience with Linux, and the students pick it up very quickly. And I think the biggest challenge is getting the adults to accept it. And I've had some experience with a great deal of resistance in that area. So, thanks.
Hi, I'm Mao Kim, and I'm the partner of one of the panelists down there, Scott Folk, so I'm here basically to watch Scott, but I'm also a mother of a 12-year-old boy who was going to Assets and they were fully equipped electronically and computer-wise, and we now have him in a public school, and there's no comparison. And I feel that that has really slowed his learning down. So I'm very interested to see what the public schools, some of the problems that I hear at home, and how that possibly can be handled in the community.
Hi, I'm Andrew Hunt. I work in information security for the Navy Marine Corps Intranet project for EDS. I'm interested in Linux and open source because almost all of our products are now based on Linux that we get from vendors, which is a very interesting trend in the security world. So professionally, I have an interest in learning how to better maintain and evaluate. And also personally, because I run software and servers at home for myself, I'm interested in Linux and how it can benefit what I do. And one of the interesting things that I discovered this week was that VMware has released virtual server as a public beta now, so the old GSX server is now freely available. So that's awesome.
My name is Luz Quiroga. I am a faculty in the Information and Computer Science and also in the Library and Information Science. In the Library and Information Science program we have a specialization for people who are going to be teaching librarians in the school libraries. So that is one of the reasons that I'm interested in information technology in library in schools and of course in common schools.
I'm Meiko Gu, and I am a teacher in public school and a recent LAS graduate, so hopefully I can be a librarian and
My name is Buntai Chintavi. I'm presently working for Time Warner Cable, Oceanic Cable, and help build a few unit video, using Linux, saving me a few $100 per unit. I build video codec and for streaming.
My name is Greg Graham, and during the day I develop Visual Talk Pro applications on Windows. And at night I edit video on Macintosh, but we do have a website that runs on an Apache server, and we're getting into PHP.
I'm going to try to talk loud enough that everybody can hear me. If there's anybody here who cannot hear me, would you raise your hand, please?
What'd you say?
Huh? My name is Don Smith. I'm a retired school photographer. I photograph school kids. And I'm glad to hear the schools are here today. I have something very important to tell you folks. Thank you. For a number of years now, we've heard about the possibility of hurricanes and all this kind of stuff. A couple of weeks ago, we had a very interesting meeting here of the services that are available and what to do in case of emergencies. And I have something here that I think I've never heard anybody talk about. We all have reserved water in our homes. They're called water heaters. There's enough water in there for many days. So, what this idea is, if a hurricane does come, or you need to, you can attach this to your faucet at the bottom of the water heater, open your air vent, and you now have a water source. That's a very cumbersome way of doing it, but that's the basic thing that's available that I've never heard anybody talk about. And I hope you can do something about it in your meetings.
I think that's a really great idea, Don, as a matter of fact. In the disaster literature and being prepared stuff, I haven't seen anybody talk about the water and the water heater.
Okay.
But you're absolutely correct, because you have to remember, which you know from because you were here, if you have a hurricane, you're going to be without water for maybe a week, maybe longer, because you're going to be without electricity. That also means you're going to be without toilet facilities for that period of time or longer. So that's great. Thank you, Don.
Even if you collect enough water, even if you hold